Okay, I'm just driving right now. Kind of slow on the island and places, so I'm kind of heading towards San Antonio. I am currently at 321,062 miles on the latest build of the FSD for my older hardware 3. So I'm running software 2024.45.32.10, which is FSD version 12.6.3. I have had 0 safety critical interventions. I do have my Uber and Lyft app on, just in case you're wondering, in case I get a ride somewhere around here on this trip. But yeah, 0 safety critical interventions. It does a great job, but some areas, like between the Holiday Inn Beach Resort on South Padre Island and the Brownsville Airport, that stretch of road past the natural gas plant that they're building, it still refuses to see the 65 mile per hour speed limit sign there. It just sees the 55 and that's it. I've had that with all the previous issues as well, or versions as well, I mean. It's only seeing those speed limit signs when it's raining heavily. I don't know why. It has actually done quite good. I have had some forced disengagements because of heavy fog a few mornings, and the fog was quite bad. And one time driving into the sun. It's doing better than the previous version did driving into the sun. At some of the destinations I get to where it will automatically park, it still does. It doesn't get into the lane properly, or the parking spot properly. It's usually over a white line. So it doesn't do a very good job of it, which I am at a loss why it can't do that. We do need an option in the settings to specify if we can use a handicap spot, though, because sometimes they'll just pull in and park into a handicap spot. That's not good. I'm not sure how full self-driving would actually handle the border checkpoint. So I will probably wind up having to disengage there just to be on the safe side. Between South Padre Island and Kingsville, there is a border checkpoint area. It is quite a distance from the border, which is kind of surprising, this far in before you get to the border checkpoint. And not just on this road, but also on another road to take the route. So there's no way around it. You have to go through the border checkpoints. Now we are doing 75 in a 75, of course. I do have it set to go 10% over the speed limit, but it seems to go more than that sometimes. I don't know why. It is switching over to this lane. I personally wouldn't have, but it's not going over all the way because of the convoy truck. So it's kind of going back, but now it's making room for vehicles on the side of the road. It really should be slowing down a lot more here. Well, it is, but let's see how it handles this here. In the previous versions, I would usually have to disengage back there. This one here is slowing down. I do find it slows down sooner for lights and stuff, and a little more smoother. And I want to try not to disengage. Something like this, we may need something to, hit to proceed. Or tap to proceed. I mean, they can do simple things like, let's watch the window. If the window's down, you hold and you wait. And then once I start raising the window, then that means I'm done and proceed. That would be a good option. Go ahead. Okay, I'll take over here. Doesn't want to see. Dog's in the way.
Just a moment, sir.
No problem.
That's not it.
Good?
You're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to edge up because of the dog next to the car, I guess. It's understandable. I hear everybody, always saying how great version 13 is or how great this version is. And honestly, the previous version was extremely well. I had no issues with that either. The amount of miles that I drive, I have 321,069 miles in this car. I drive close to 10,000 miles a month. Very little of that is not on full self-driving. So I guess I don't drive any. I drive maybe 5 miles a month, if that. I don't know. Some of the information that comes back, it says that I drove like a half a mile on autopilot, not full self-driving. I have it one click to full self-driving. How was I on autopilot? But maybe it's considered autopilot when I'm using the parking. Now, one issue I do want to point out that I find is very annoying is that it does not get me to the superchargers. I mean, it gets me to the location, but sometimes it takes me to the totally opposite side of the parking lot, nowhere near the supercharger itself. Now, I'm sorry, the superchargers should be definitely mapped. They should definitely know where they're at. As a matter of fact, it should have enough information to know which one's not working, which ones are working. If it's a 150, it should know how they are, how it's split, 75 kilowatts each if there are two people on A and B. So it should be able to go straight to the supercharger and back into the best charger to use at that location. Now, if you got a bunch of vehicles on there, it's a 150 and everybody's on B, the car should be able to have enough information to know which car is almost done charging and pick A next to that car. That way you're not decreasing his charging speed. And when he charges, you can get more. When he gets done charging, you get more of the 150. That should not be difficult at all. I can see, like, the charger I'm going to, I can see there's 7 stalls available. If I look at the data, there's 8 stalls there. So it knows there's a car there. It should know, how long that car is going to be there for and get that data too. But yeah, it should be able to pull into the parking lot, get to the supercharger, back in by itself to the proper charger to be ready to charge. But very rarely does it ever, even the one in Harlingen, it's a newer 250 kilowatts, and it's in a parking lot near the Black Bear Cafe, which is a very good cafe. Check them out. But as the car gets into there, it needs to turn right into the parking lot area where the superchargers are, but it keeps wanting to turn left and going to Johnny Rockets instead. The other side of the parking lot. I don't know why. Even on the navigation, it shows exactly where it's at. Why the car doesn't do that, I don't know. It's really baffling. But this version here has been very, very smooth. I've been very happy with it. I don't have the braking that I had at nighttime. I do find that sometimes at a red light, it does start kind of surging ahead before the light turns green, anticipating the light's going to turn green. And at first, I do get the feeling like it's getting ready to run the red light, but it doesn't. It does hold. Except for one time, it did actually, I believe, run the red light, but I took over quickly. But that was also where they've recently paved the road. They had no lines, markings, or what have you. So the car couldn't tell if it was over the stop line or not, because there was no stop line there. So while it was edging forward, it may have figured it might already be in the intersection, so it needs to go and get out. I don't know. But that was only one time I've seen that. And I'm not like some of the other YouTubers out there who drive 10, 20 miles or says, wow, my car did, a 30-mile commute to work, 0 interventions. I'm sorry, 30 miles, that's nothing. For me to drive someone from the island to the airport, the Brownsville airport, 30 miles, that's one way to the airport. And then back. And I can pick them up. It gets me right to the hotel, right to the front. They put their stuff in. I engage right there in the parking lot. And it comes to a complete stop right in front of the airport. 0 interventions whatsoever. Not just the airport, but other areas in town and what have you, near people's homes and stuff. And some of these places are terrible. The only times I'm really taken over is where the customers don't have the right address in. So you have to go and hunt them down. So I really can't tell the car where to go. Sometimes they don't know where they're going. I mean, they have an idea, so they put the location near to where they go, but then you have to take over and continue them in. Some apartment complexes are not mapped, so you have to take over there. Those are the only few times I actually have to physically take over, but I don't completely take over. I'll disengage the navigation and just let the car drive and then intervene when I need to make the turn and what have you. I do find sometimes when I'm driving, if I signal and I have no destination set, it will go ahead and listen to my signal and make a turn if I request it. This is a 2018 Model 3, just to let you know. I bought this in March of 2022. It had 26,000 miles on it. I do get a lot of road noise in this car. I would love to get another car, but Uber and Lyft has really been bad. They've been taking 65% now. So it's been kind of hard. Up until I left Harlingen, just to let you know for today, I'll go my daily breakdown here. I have driven 111 miles total. 110 miles of that is on full self-driving. 0 interventions. And, that was just up till 10:30. I'm sorry, 9:47. Yeah, I left Harlingen at 10:30. I stopped and charged a little bit longer. I could have, charged quickly, but I was busy working on my laptop and decided to let it charge a little bit longer. Still had the apps on. Kind of sad sitting there for that amount, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and no rides. So that's why I decided I'm going to head towards San Antonio, where it's a little bit busier. This couple of hours that I spend here, it's long, and there's nothing anywhere around. But, this is not interstate. It's basically a highway. It's wanting to do 82. I'm going to drop it down a little bit. I'm going to go try to stretch my range. I'm only at 240 watt-hours a mile, so I'm doing pretty good. I took my roof racks off. I do seem to be getting a little bit better range or performance or efficiency, to be exact, without those. And just to note, when I first bought my car, it's a long range with the performance boost. They can't remove the performance boost once they add it. So it was on there before I bought the car. I had a full charge range of 280 miles. From the data that I was able to get about the car, it had never once been charged over 80%. So it was pretty much a loaner vehicle at the Dallas showroom, I believe. Never been charged over 80%. Since I've had it, I've almost always charged to 100%. Doing what I do, I need as much range as possible. So I started at 280 miles of range when I had 26,000 miles. I am now at 321,000 miles. I am getting 229 miles of range on a full charge. So the degradation isn't that bad. I do see when it goes down in range, it's kind of like in spurts. And what I mean is, like, at first it went down really quick, then it leveled off for quite a while, then it went down a little bit more, and then leveled off for quite a while, and then went down a little bit more. I have been at the 227, 229 range on a full charge now for a good, 6 months. So 60,000 miles. It hasn't been going down much more than that. I'm hoping it will continue doing that. As far as maintenance goes, okay, well, I've added a bunch of windshield washer fluid, about 10 gallons, changed the tires 4 times. I did take them in to clean out the air exchanger, the radiator for the AC of the car. It was really bad, so they just went ahead and replaced it. That got a little pricey. Put me around several $1,000s to do that. And also they replaced the octavalve because that wasn't switching properly, which I was noticing that when I go into the service mode that, I was seeing an error there. And the fan was not getting completely up to speed. That was at around 290,000 miles. I have replaced some of the front end shock or suspension because the potholes and the speed bumps and the dips in the brown area is just terrible, especially if I drive down the SpaceX. Oh man, that road really needs some work. It does a number on your front end. That was quite a while back, but that was only a couple $1,000s. Kind of pricey, but not really.
Unknown caller.
That is a scammer. Let's see. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. They start with the automated
From
verse.
accidental claims support. How's your day going?
Well, I'm good.
We're reaching out to verify if you've been involved in a car accident within the past 2 years, and the compensation for being injured is still pending. So you had an auto accident in the last 2 years?
Oh, yes.
We have a team of experienced attorneys who specialize in handling such cases, and they would be more than willing to assist you in obtaining the compensation you deserve. Please stay on the line for a brief moment, and I'll connect you with them right away.
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line and you'll be transferred to the next available agent.
They're all scams. Got a Lyft ride. I was surprised about that. You're at the Walmart in Kingsville. So.
Hi, this is Chris Murphy with Ambient Helpline. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, this is Chris Murphy with Ambient Helpline. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Well, the reason
they
for
don't
this
like
call
this.
is that our ex-communicates you may be
This call will be recorded.
Okay. Yeah, see, once you let them know the call is being recorded, they hang up immediately. All the scammers hate it when you start recording the call. So right now we're heading to pick this person up at the Walmart. I want to get off of Uber, turn that off. I usually run both apps. And if I get a ride on one, I turn the other app off. I did adjust the speed down back there a little bit sooner than what I should have because a lot of police on this stretch of road. But it seems to be doing pretty good. We're now in a 60. It's doing 51. So it's not really accelerating like it should. I am in standard, not in, hurry. So yeah, it is set for 66, 67 max. And it's moving out of the lane to make room for the car coming up. If I pump it up to hurry mode, let's see. It's signaling to get out of this lane, I guess because it sees the barrels. Now it is picking up more speed. I don't know if it's because it's in hurry mode or not. But I won't drop it back to standard. I prefer standard. I don't like to do a whole lot of heavy passing. Once I did get this latest version, I did go through and calibrate the cameras. That went pretty quickly. And they seem to fix the issue they had before. Some people have problems calibrating the cameras or get stuck and never finish. And when you calibrate the cameras, the first calibration will finally let you be able to turn on autopilot. And then it takes a little bit more calibrating to be able to use the full self-driving. And, you know, it's really odd for that, you know, initial 15 minutes of calibration to have to be driving the car. It's like, it felt weird. I mean, I used the full self-driving so much. It was just an odd feeling of having to do the driving myself. I noticed when it's getting out of the lane and going over, it's giving a little more distance to the car behind me. The previous version, it would really, to me, cut over a lot closer to the car behind me, which was just kind of uncomfortable. Now, undoubtedly, there are no lifts in this area for it to be sending it to me when I'm 15 miles away. It's not a scheduled ride. I'll stick with the fastest route. Well, what's the time difference? 14, 15? This route looks the same length. Yeah, okay, that one might be 30 seconds faster, but I don't know. Shortest. Sometimes the Tesla navigation, I don't know why it does some of the things it does. Of course, I don't think they're going very far. I think looks like they're going to the Holiday Inn Express, which is where the Kingsville, that's where the 150 kilowatt superchargers are. I don't know why I always go on this route. If I tell it to go to San Antonio or Houston, it always insists on using the Kingsville supercharger, where there are faster, newer superchargers just a little bit further, that would be more ideal to use. Now, granted, you know, you only see like the 250 kilowatts when you're down low around like 5% to 30 or 40%. Then it starts slowing down.
Unknown caller.
Wow, they're getting aggressive today here. Hello? Hello?
Hey, this is Brian with Financial Help for Senior. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
This call will be recorded.
Well, I'm calling to inform you about a new state-regulated final expense insurance plan that is just being approved in your state, and it covers 100% cost of your funeral expenses. So how old are you?
I'm 62.
Do you make your own financial decisions?
Well, yes.
Are you a smoker or a non-smoker?
Oh, I don't smoke.
Great. Now, if you choose to take coverage, who's going to be your beneficiary?
My cat?
Would it be your son, daughter, or must be your spouse?
My cat? They didn't like that. I guess I can't leave money to my cat. Poor Care Bear. Now we had a school zone 35 here. It really needs to drop down. I don't see a school. Still doing 55. So is most of the traffic here, dropping down to 47. But yeah, it's kind of weird. You're in a school zone, but I don't see a school anywhere here. I see it way up here, but we're still quite a distance from there. Now we're in a work zone 45. Doesn't seem to see the work zone signs for the speed limit. It should be, well, now it's adjusted for that, but it may switch back and forth. I don't know. I don't think it's the camera seeing it. I think it's getting it from map data. Now, when I first came down here in October of 2020 from Louisiana, I'm pretty sure I recall construction down through here. It's still going on. It's 5 years now. Now, originally the car wanted to be off on there, but it didn't get off, and it could have took that exit, but it didn't. We still are quite a distance away. And it's odd because there is another exit here sooner that it can take. and then make a left at the light. It's not even giving that option. I don't know why. Because I would take the same exit that I would take normally to go to the supercharger, and then make a left there. So I might wind up having to disengage just for navigation issues. Of course, Lyft would have had me going off this one here and around. So I don't know why it wants to do the weird U-turn. Unless they did in fact change this exit. But it's usually this exit I would take right here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the turn signal to let it know I want to take the exit, see if it will take it. And yeah, it will take it. I'm forcing it to take it. So yeah, just doing the turn signal, it went ahead and took the exit earlier than the one it wanted to do. And then I'm going to try to get it to go over here, but it's not going over. I'm going to have to hit the brake. Yeah. We want to get over here. So I disengage there, trying to get into left-hand turn lane to turn at the stop sign. Because I did signal, but it wasn't hurrying up and changing lanes like I wanted it to. It's waiting for its turn. Coming up to a stop sign here. Another thing I would like to have in here is a setting to let it know what side of the car I want to be on. Since I'm doing Uber and Lyft, I'm going to pick this person up. I want them to be getting in on the right-hand side. I don't want them to have to walk across parking or traffic just to get into my car. It's kind of wobbling trying to figure out where to get in here. But so in this situation, I want to kind of loop around and it's not giving me that option. In the parking lot is not that easy. So I would like to have swung around and come around the other way on the parking lot. But what I'm going to do is wind up just having to do a little U-turn up here for them. Not sure what door they're at. Might be them up there. So I'm going to disengage here and come up and swing around. And I want to stop the video for their privacy. I always hate Walmart parking lots. I don't know if that's her or not. For Vanessa? Okay.